and she has none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. Her friends. Trouble will show you who your friends are. Your friends. Egypt was her friend. Edom was her friend. Moab was her friend. Ammon was her friend. Tyre was her friend. I'm from the South, y'all. Tyre. Sidon was her friend. Well, it's strange that now that she's in trouble, they have become her enemies. I got something I want to tell you this morning. Be careful who your friends are. Unworthy connections will afford no consolation in times of trouble. It would behoove all of us this morning to take a good look at your buddy list. Take a good look at your friends list. Take a moment and scroll through the numbers that are in your cell phone. Look at the people that you are connected to. Take a good look at them now. Look at them now. Look at those numbers now. Look at your friends list now. Look at your buddy list now. Jerusalem needs comforting, and there is none to comfort her. Jerusalem needs a friend, and there is none who will befriend her. As a matter of fact, the text tells us that her friends have become her enemies. Not only is she feeble within, she's feeble without. Oh, it's one thing to hurt on the inside, but to hurt inside out. Jerusalem steps outside of the will of God, and God leaves her out there by herself. There's no visitation. There's no consolation. But if you look at this text, there is no relaxation, no leisure, no easing, no let up. There's no rest, no repose. Verse 3 says, she dwells among the nations and she finds no rest. She's gone into captivity. She's gone into exile. Jeremiah chapter 52 verse 27 says, and the king of Babylon smote them and put them to death in Riblah in the land of Hamath. Then Judah was carried away captive out of his own land. Jeremiah teaches us to never despair. Though our calamities are many and grievous, never despair. Never give up. Never stop trusting God. He teaches that there is no assured safety but in the fear of God. My safety, your safety is in God. Your security is in God. Your sanity is in God. Your safeness, your shelter is in God. No visitation, no consolation, no relaxation. But I tell you what, there is desolation. Desolation is unhappiness. Desolation is sadness. Desolation is those bleak times that we have in our life. Desolation is when gloom sets in, when discontentment sets in. Verse 4. The roads to Zion mourn, because no one comes to the set feasts. All of her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she's in bitterness. Can you imagine? The table is spread. The invitation is extended. The gates are open, but desolation. Nobody shows. Nobody calls. No RSVPs. The old gates had been crowded with worshipers from the land. They used to rejoice in Zion. Zion was the glorified site of the temple. The temple was the glorified as it held the ark of the covenant. Zion was the city of earnestness and seriousness and exactness. God loved the gates of Zion more than all of the nations or the dwellings of Jacob. They sang the song, you remember, we're marching. We're marching to Zion, that beautiful, beautiful Zion. Praise continually waited in Zion. But now, my brothers and sisters, Zion is in handcuffs. And I want to tell you this, as Zion went, as Jerusalem went, as Judah went, so goes life. Isn't it amazing how there's a song in the morning, but tears in the night? Joy in the morning, pain in the night. Friends when you wake up, enemies before bedtime. Cash flowing by day, but bankruptcy by night. Clean bill of health when you wake up, fighting for your life before you go to bed. Praising at the dawn of day, but handcuffed at the dusk of night. Not only is there desolation, but there's also agitation. You know what agitation is? That's just worry. That's tension. Agitation is the stress. It's anxiety. Agitation. Verse 5 says, her adversaries are the master. But here's what agitates Jerusalem. Here's what agitates Judah. Her adversaries are master. Her enemies prosper. Don't tell me that doesn't bother you to see your adversaries prosper. Don't tell me it doesn't get under your skin to see those who have done you wrong look like they're just doing fine. I mean, it may not bother you, but it bothered Asaph. In the 73rd number of Psalm, verse 2, he says, I looked and I saw how the wicked prospered. He said, and my feet, they almost left from under me. It bothered me so much until I almost lost my feet from under me. He says, my footsteps were almost slipped. My feet almost slipped when I saw how the wicked prospered. Don't tell me that it doesn't bother